Its mouth does not look that big, but that's the Big Mouth Shiner right there. Apparently we're dealing with a flat-bellied humpbacked fish. A unique body form. It says this is a unique body form. I'm not buying it. Apparently if you look at this fish from above, it looks like it's looking up at you. The pupil is skewered dorsally. I really like the way that was put, skewered dorsally. Olive yellow on the back, silvery on the sides. Important detail to note, there is no pigment around the vent or at the base of the anal fin. I must be sure not to paint the anus on this fish. The lateral line has about 35 scales. What if I got that specific with this kind of stuff and made sure that the lateral line on this fish had 35 scales? Would you consider that obsessive? Probably turn my fun facts light on. I got a light for this now. Is that better? They have a sub-inferior mouth. Is that okay to type into Google and look up what that even means? That's what that means. I'm just seeing a bunch of pictures of fish like most often found on bottom-dwelling fish such as catfish. They got a catfish-like mouth. Lower jaw shorter. We run naturally that way in the first place. I have a sub-inferior mouth. Openings pointing down. Hooked pharyngeal teeth on slender arches that are arranged in an array. So they have hooked teeth. The dorsal, anal, and pelvic fins all have 8 rays too. Spines in them. What a useless coincidence. They feed on aquatic insects, plant material, and just gunk. Gunk in the streams, man. Yummy. It's not a game species, so there's no records like world records or state records documented. Where they are one of the most foraged and important little fishes in the streams though. A very important little bait minnow, the Big Mouth Shiner. Low to moderate gradient prairie streams with slight current and unstable sandy bottoms are where these little fellas dwell. They love it when the water levels change and adapt and they can go out and find more food and come back in, and they're just made for that. They're even good at adapting to the pollutants. Apparently. No need to protect this fish. It can survive. The one thing they need though is they're not to be silt over the sand. They need a sand substrate, not covered with stuff. They need sand. Around where I live in Iowa, we have tons of creeks with sand. That's what most of the creeks I fish are, just sand bottom creeks. And they just happen to be one of the few species that are able to live in the sterile sand. Once they get to about 3 inches long, they're able to spawn. Dang, that's so straight. And little is known about the reproductive habits of this species specifically. It's known that they spawn between May and August, and that they go upstream to do so, and they allow their eggs to flow downstream. That's about all that's known. Their rituals, things that happen during that process, isn't really well known. I do know that making anything over about 3 inches for this fish is overkill. Like, this would be world record right here. What if I titled the video, "Making a world record size Big Mouth Shiner"? That'd be kind of pathetic. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, there has been little information researched about this minnow, even though it's so prevalent. The entire Midwest region, Tennessee, Arkansas, all the way to the East Coast. Yep, they eat like a minnow, they reproduce like a minnow, they compete and live in environments that minnows live in, and the description of them is just a minnow, so we're making a minnow. Fun facts are over. Lead's hot. We got a little drippy poo going. This is gonna take a while. And you unclog that lead pot. Lead's clogged. There. All right, that was a lot of lead. 3/4 inch hole gives you a lot of lead to work with. Plenty of room right there to stick a dowel in. That's how we're gonna seal these holes in super glue and baking soda.
Laundry with toxins to the lungs, and they're getting into the bloodstream, and there are enough that were like rubbing their hands and getting
I got the bedroom, and you gotta go outside, that's the smoking area. I remember I worked in Cook 1 year old.
All right, that's all the hardware in it. We got the lead in it, sealed off. Pretty slick looking bait. I left a little crease right there on the tail end. kind of a coffin lip. Let's go seal the wood. Brand new fresh can, polyurethane. Starting with white. That's the Big Mouth minnow. I'm going to be using that as reference. Olive gold, I think, is like the first thing to lay down for that paint scheme. This is just a lighter version of that. Hits some other spots. So it's looking kind of ridiculous right now, but I think it's what needs to be the base coat. Looks kind of blah. I've been painting the other one too. Fluorescent aqua, good color. Crazy tones under the scales in this bait. See right there? That little notch right there. I'm not gonna try to make that. I'm gonna just give the belly area some fluorescent aqua to match those tones. Put it in some areas where there's a lot of shape. The tail right there, the belly, a little bit by the gills. Bone white, a little off white. Put a bright lateral line across. Holographic laser glitter and highlight red pigment. Base coats are on. What? A scale reveal? This isn't the Big Mouth minnow paint scheme. This is the other one, and I already painted the scales. Here we go. That chartreuse lateral line comes through just a bit. I went as natural as I could while still having a bit of chartreuse on the body. That's what this is. And yeah, you look at it from this distance and it's like, oh, that's just a silver natural. Oh wait, there's some detail in there. It's awesome how that glitter comes out between the scales still. Subtle color, that looks great. So, the purpose of my life in this moment is to turn this, which looks nothing like that, into that. I think I set myself up okay though. I think it will look like that still. Here we go. I'm gonna start with the super light coat of white. That's dangerous. To shoot the scales white can be very overpowering. That was a fine misting. Pretty much like arched it. Let that paint fall onto the bait nice and gently. Probably not that fine, but you know, you get the idea. I'm looking at the picture. Pearl white, not a lot of, there's so little pearl white to that. We're gonna go gold silver, that's it. If I overthink that, it's gonna get too complicated. Gold on top, let it come all the way down into the white that I just sprayed, and then there's like a muddying up down the middle, silver. There's like random little white highlights too throughout the whole body, even around that little blue spot down there. Might do something to mimic that. Gold, silver. Should I break out the bigger mesh too? I might break out the bigger mesh. That just throws a wrench into everything if I do that though. Let's throw the wrench into everything. Who cares? Gold on bottom, a little bit of silver above that. Take the mesh off, put a different one on. Gold on top. Maybe even copper. No, copper. Yeah, maybe even copper. Okay, I opted to lay down that aluminum color before anything dark right there. I was gonna do silver, and then I didn't. Come in at an angle with a darker, probably charcoal, metallic charcoal. Intermediate scale painting, scale reveal. It's like half of a scale reveal right here. Pretty good. Probably wanna see it against the reference. Remember, we're only concerned with the bottom right now. See the gold? It's coming through just a smidge. And there's a lot of the silver. Once I get the gold and coppers on the top there won't be that much. I think the correct colors are coming through so far. I don't know, sometimes mixing the meshes for different scale effects doesn't look good, and sometimes it does. I'm a bit apprehensive to do this, but here we go. I think the key is kind of to not make it too jarringly contrasting. Having it be the same gold, I think will help. A little bit of copper, darken up the gold for the bigger scales. Make sure it's pressed against the bait everywhere. It's got a good curvature to the mesh that follows the body shape. Not easy to get that perfect. This one isn't perfect, but it kind of does it. That's all you need. That's what it looks like from my angle. I just threw that copper on the top. That looks about right. One more thing. I made a pretty dramatic line, but look. The real thing kind of has that. Got some white too. Maybe I'll come under with the white a little bit and go along. You guys see that? I should have zoomed in. Sorry. Beautiful. Okay, that was a lot of scales for one bait. Hopefully it looks fine. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks okay. I went a little too crazy with the white right up front there. I think the gills are gonna cover that up, and all the rest of that's fine. Kind of subtle. It's probably not ideal when you're thinking about what's gonna cover up what you just painted, but putting the rest of the details will sharpen it up. Maybe you think that looks fantastic actually, and I should just be proud of what I just painted. Who knows? It's a pretty good match. Details. I have a ton of these with just different shaped curves. Just an unlimited amount. I like that. Fathead, or no, Big Mouth minnow. Fathead minnow. We already did that. Such a diverse, sophisticated range of names for minnows. Looking clean. Just a little hint of that aqua color from before. I just put some in the body too. That color is very complementary to the gold. Taking you all back to elementary art school. Complementary colors. I was so close to overdoing that copper, but that's good. That looks fantastic. I think some belongs in that fin. I'm just gonna keep it up there though. I stayed away from the bottom. That's a pretty detailed gill pattern and stuff. It needs a little bit of gold over that blue. Very last thing I added was just a bit of infection pink, that color was called, at the bottom, and that's that. Just need to stencil the spines onto that fin and add an eye, and sign it.
Nothing works.
At the ditch with a net and a beautiful big jerk bait. I got both of them just in case we lose one. That would be awful. Would have thought. Ouch. Let's not lose one. I'm very happy with how that's comparable to the reference. Gorgeous stuff. Big mouth minnow. Didn't even test it in the tank. I saw some Action City right off the bat there. I just have a super sneaky suspicion I need to get this net ready. Let's just have that net ready. Whoa, the tail wag on this thing. Wow, okay. Okay, that got hit. That definitely just got hit. Okay. Something like flipped this bait over. Man, it's a good action. All right. Iridescence. It's almost a wing worth taking right there. I have not checked this pond up here all year. So right here, I was fishing with this tiny little bait for quite a while, not catching much. Put that down. I picked up this, the Big Mouth Shiner. I've been calling it Big Mouth Minnow this whole video. It's a shiner. And something miraculous happened. I picked that up like just wanting to see the action of it one more time. Little did I know I was going to receive more action than I thought. Dude, I was joking when I dude, that was first cast. You see how there's like no hook set? Fish was like dead weight after it bit. No way. Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna put this guy in a net just so he doesn't hurt himself more. Dude, that was first cast. Feisty little fella. Feisty big fella. Dude, I casted that thing out there like, let's just feel the action of that bait one more time and I'm gonna go home. But then we caught this guy right on the bank. I guess all that there is to say is it's official. Big pond bass. 3-something, maybe, be free. We're in November. That's a good catch. I like this pond a lot more right now. I should have been here more this year. I like this pond now. How about second cast? I know how this goes. I'm gonna be here another half an hour and I'm not gonna get another. Bass Lake, unrealistically large big mouth minnow. Let it be known. I gotta get my bait back. I didn't think I would pop off like that with a spinning reel, but I did. Oh my goodness. We had it on. That was first cast. Got it. So that was a 30-pound fluoro leader and it popped off at the braid. The FG knot held. Just get that back on there. This is 15-pound braid, so that's why it gave before the 30-pound leader. And I was right, nothing else happened for about another half an hour and then I left. But it's official. Bass, like the Big Mouth Shiner. That's all that matters, it's official. Oh, I have something to unbox. Stick around for an unboxing. 8-bit baits from Bait Chuckin'. He thinks it's supper time, it's not. Don't let him fool you. Oh my goodness. Some fun things to pop. Oh wow, hollow shift powders that he's coming out with. We got prey baits, we got whip wads, we got big whip wads, we got agros, we got puds. It smells like garlic. We got bosses, oh my goodness. Large Marge. It would have to be a very large Marge to eat the boss. Glow in the dark tactical patch. What? Glow in the dark? Where's my flashlight? Whoa! Dude, that does glow in the dark. That's pretty sick nasty. If you guys don't know about Bait Chuckin', go check out his channel. He makes some pretty sweet videos. Injecting. Pouring. All sorts of soft plastics. A lot of epic bait mold stuff. He's got his own hollow shift powders that are looking really good. Like that does look very impressive in real life. Hollow shift powders. Whenever those are available, I'm gonna get some. And that's a fancy boss. Beautiful eye on that bait, matches it perfect. Got all the skin poured, powder painted details. What a boss. Goodness gracious. Those hollow shift powders are amazing. Frank and Steve. Huh. Thanks, Bait Chuckin'. Oh my. Easy boy. Oh. Good boy. Chip's excited. Thanks for watching. On to the next bait. What a thought. We got a little drippy poo going. What? Whoa. Is that okay to type into Google?